Welcome back to the Royal Aeronautical Society podcast. Today, I'm happy to introduce Elvis Tinago, a talented aerospace engineer and a champion for diversity and inclusion. Elvis holds a Master of Aerospace Engineering from the University of the West of England and has gained valuable experience during his placement at Rolls-Royce. Currently, he works as an education community engineer for the RS Group, where he creates opportunities for young engineers. He's also the first engineering leadership scholar representing the Royal Academy of Engineering on the Early Career Engineering Professional Engineering Committee. His achievements include winning the Bright Sparks 2020 award and being an active member of the Royal Aeronautical Society's ED&I committee. So, let's jump right in and welcome Elvis Tinago. Thank you so much, Elvis, for joining us today. I'm excited to dive into your journey in aerospace engineering, the challenges you've faced as a Black professional in a predominantly white industry, and how your identity has shaped your career. Let's start with your journey. Can you share how you got into the aerospace engineering field and what inspired you to pursue this career?
Thank you, Giovanni, for the lovely introduction. So I guess I can start from kind of my A levels. So I did kind of straight A levels in maths, physics, chemistry, and biology. But that was more of interest. Those were the subjects that I enjoyed doing. And so I went and did them, and I felt more comfortable doing those than the other ones. But still, I wasn't kind of sure what career path I want to take. I knew I loved maths, but I couldn't see myself sitting, kind of doing a core maths degree as well. So I wanted to see, what the maths can do in when applied to real life. And I guess that's where I diverted into engineering, and aerospace engineering would be the career that or give me the opportunity to actually do a lot of the mathematics, but also apply them into kind of real life practical problems. In essence, building some stuff or analyzing how kind of real phenomena of things actually work in operation. So that's what I wanted to get out of studying aerospace. So and then I guess I can lead into why then go into study at UE in Bristol. And for me, it was I wanted to study somewhere where I know there is good history of aerospace, and there is companies associated with aerospace close by. So that's I guess my decision making into that career. I hope that that answers it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And as a Black professional in a predominantly white industry, what challenges have you faced and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think it's mostly imposter syndrome, I think, and also just not seeing kind of people. So I don't have anyone in my family that did aerospace or in engineering, right? So not having kind of people to look up to or that look like you that you can identify with. I think that was kind of personal challenge in navigating that career path or seeing yourself in that career. So I mean that I would say didn't ruin kind of me trying to work hard or my competence in doing the the course or pursuing a career. But it just it was challenging in terms of it most of the things felt foreign, right? I was not an aviation enthusiast. I became one, right? I was
Okay.
an aerospace enthusiast and stuff, but I became one through studying and started to enjoy uh, um, what I was studying, and I guess the aviation sector and everything surrounding it. Um, so yeah, so to come back to your question, I think just not having a lot of role models that you could look up to, not that, that makes life any easier or makes the difficulty of the course any easier, but it's, when you can see something, I guess you can see yourself in that step. But what I then kind of thought to myself is, I think, no matter what race or color a young person will be, uh, I would never want any other young person to feel like they can't achieve something because they haven't seen it. So I have to stick it through to be also a role model to those that want to see that. So yeah, and help as much as I can to showcase that it's possible and these careers are available to everyone, you know, as long as you put your mind to it and you showcase that you're competent enough to do what needs to be done as much as any other career, I would assume. Yeah.
That's true. Thank you again for sharing that. It's very insightful. Can you share a specific moment or experience where you felt your identity as a Black engineer impacted your career?
I think I think I think I want to look at it from a positive side, I think.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what I would say is I always looked at it from, actually it's easy to remember me.
Mm,
I guess let's say there is, 100 people and you're the only Black person there. If you do something well, it's easy to remember
exactly.
it, to be remembered, because I guess you're almost an outlier, right? So whatever you do, um,
Standing out.
remembered. Yeah. So
Mm,
the positive side is that your impact is easily remembered because I guess there's only one of you. But the downside is if there's something that doesn't go so well, it's easy to feel like, oh, it can be associated with your identity, right? It's like, okay, it's the Black person in this team that hasn't done that well. But actually, I've been fortunate enough that, I've managed to have good support system and allies uh, that have been really kind of supportive with me in terms of, I guess, sharing opportunities, uh, or if it's kind of seeing something in yourself that you haven't noticed, and encouraging you and putting you in environments that allow you to succeed. So yeah, I think I would like to focus on the, or what it can do for you, right? Being an outlier, um, in as daunting as it is, it can be an opportunity for you to actually excel because it's easy for whoever you're working with or you're delivering for to remember that piece, who, or you did that, or you are capable of doing A, B, C, and D, but also in as likely, highly likely it is to get remembered, you could also be on the downside of it where it's, oh, it's a
that's
Black guy that has done it or Black woman that has done it. But yeah, I would say you assume the positive intent is actually you can thrive in what you do, and actually it's easy to build that rapport because actually it's memorable because you're the only one. But it will be
Mhm.
nice when it's not it's not an environment like that because
Okay.
actually it doesn't have to be, right? There is a lot of black people around that also study the subject and are competent enough to be in the sector. And yes, if someone does good work, they've done a good work and they don't need to be remembered easily because it's just them there, right?
No, I totally agree with what you said. And thank you again for sharing that. It was very insightful. Can you please tell me, like, what role do you think diversity plays in the aerospace and engineering field?
Yeah, I think it's really kind of important. I think if we look at the purpose in which like products within aerospace or engineering are created for, right? They're created to serve a diversity group of people,
Mm,
right? And for them to serve fully this group of people, it's really important that those group of people are also part of the journey of creating that product or two, or that could be an aircraft or a car, whatever, because I guess the inputs are diverse enough to cover the group of people, so it's not, there's no blind spots. um I know, of course, it's something people can, you can learn to have diverse thinking, but actually for a team to thrive, different perspectives and experiences, and to be highly functional, I think, the different experiences that come from being of different ethnicities, different upbringings, different genders, and
mm,
all forms of um, diversity actually are really, really, really advantageous in in helping provide like a really thriving high functional team, but also just products that are able to um, successfully serve a group of people, right? You know, our products serve a wide range of diverse community. They shouldn't just be, designed or worked on. Um, it's better for them to be designed and worked on
okay.
by, the community that they represent, and also I guess you get the inputs that are relevant and the nuances and the differences that the different groups of people might have, that actually um, identify with those communities. So I think it's important that we have a diversity group of engineers in what we do, and the problems we face currently, global problems or local problems, are too complex to solve with one view or one type of experience, right? There's, having black people only providing a solution to one problem will not give us a really sound solution, because maybe they have a similar experience in terms of lived experiences.
Exactly.
So I think it's quite important that
No,
we have that where we can, because I think it's not possible all the time.
that's
Um,
true. I totally agree with you on terms of having multiple perspectives coming from different um, different people from different backgrounds, actually. Definitely agree with that. And I thank you so much again for that. I have another question for you. As a member of the Royal Aeronautical Society ED&I committee, what initiatives are you involved in to promote diversity in the field?
Yeah, so I think I joined the DNI committee, I think 2020,
Okay, yeah.
around that time. And I think being part of the committee has been really kind of one encouraging to know that that's a priority of the society, and and the society has plans to address that, but also you know, initiatives that we have done over the years. I think there's been kind of lectures that have been planned around the Black History Month, or there's been lectures around kind of any pivotal days across the year to support uh, all the communities within all the minority communities within the spectrum. So I think being able to know that actually that trying to address one form of diversity doesn't just stop there. I think it helps also address other forms of diversity, or address issues around that are faced by other minority groups. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is actually um, ensuring that we have a diverse pipeline of young engineers coming through into the industry. So yeah, I've supported the society with kind of the volunteering initiatives to at different air shows. Yeah, so that's key part of what I do. I also do some STEM volunteering as a STEM ambassador. Um, Keen part to represent kind of early careers within our professional engineering institutions. So really kind of put in the voice of early careers to the table, and what key issues we're facing. Yeah, and the future skill set of an engineer, right? It's changing, and what does that look like? And yeah,
Great to hear about those initiatives. Now, what advice would you give to young Black individuals aspiring to enter the engineering and aerospace fields?
yeah, I would say there's lots of opportunities out there. Keep keep yourself curious, and continue to network. And I think for me to join the Royal Aero Society, it was through kind of networking event that happened when I was still at uni, and they shared with me some advice that kind of really helped me. They encouraged me to look for a placement, and what that entailed, right? So, at that point, I I wasn't too sure whether I should do one or not do one, but it's really useful. At least if you through a placement, yeah, you'll be able to learn two things: what you like and don't like, uh, right? Which are both very important. So that was really useful experiences, but also you start to apply your knowledge into kind of real problems. You start to have good, strong business acumen, which are really key skills that help you thrive in the workplace. And at university, you're learning to learn really. Uh, and in a corporate environment or a workplace, it's now, applying those theoretical knowledge, but also understanding, the balance of engineering and money, right? So this you need investment to be able to engineer new things. How do you budget that in a project? Yeah. So I would encourage them, just stay curious, network. People want to share what their careers are about. Reach out to people. Utilize resources that the society has. There's plenty of
Mhm.
resources on, and career paths. And what you can do. Seek out different employers, see what they're offering, um, and don't stop applying until you get a place. And it only takes one to say yes, and and then you are in the career, right? It takes a lot of obligations, but actually,
True.
the the real difference is only it takes one.
True.
So yeah, stay curious, and even when you're in those careers as well, and continue to push for your development, because things are changing and you always need to learn a few things. So continuous development is an important part of anyone's career to thrive over time.
That's true. And that's actually a very invaluable advice because I feel like sometimes um, once you actually get a seat on the table, it's so easy for you to just feel comfortable and feel like, okay, I'm in now and I don't feel like I have to do any extra work to kind of to level up. But in fact, it's not true. Once you get in, you should actually keep pushing so that you actually can manage to get to different levels as well. So thank you so much for sharing that. Another question is how do you think how can organizations better support diversity and inclusion in engineering?
Yeah, so I think the other thing I think that will be really uh, useful is, I think, people having access and
Mhm.
knowledge about what's happening where. And I think what our organizations can do is actually expose the opportunities that they have. Um, and I think sometimes it's just people don't know or don't have access or reach in into the information about, oh, actually this company recruits, or they have these opportunities, or actually this is what it's like to work uh, at this organization. So I would encourage organizations to put themselves out there,
Mhm.
to be able to attract that talent that they need, because actually we know there is not a lot of talent around to meet the skills gap. So if the organizations want to stay competitive, I guess make sure that your opportunities are well transparent, they're well distributed
Yes.
across, so that now we have kind of the power of the internet, so different social media platforms that can help um, the organizations reach out to the specific groups. So I think, yeah, it's really important that um, organizations do that, but also partnerships with the with their relevant corporate PEIs, uh, to extend that leverage, or reach to engage with the audiences.
Amazing. That sounds great. Thank you for that again. I have one more question for you, which is reflecting on your journey so far. What accomplishments are you most proud of?
Interesting. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, the answer to that changes all the time. But I would say yeah, I mean, I'm 3 years into my role now. Um, but what I'm most proud of, is, besides kind of work and what I've done, uh, and where I've worked so far, I think it's being able to give back the little knowledge that I've gained on the way.
Mm.
And I'm continuously proud to do that, knowing that that might be the light bulb for someone, or that might encourage another young person uh, to go into that career or to look into that opportunity, and that might actually be game changer for their career path. And that's for me, that's what I'm most proud of, is being able to just sow a seed into somebody's career journey.
This is the end of our podcast, and thank you so much again, Elvis, for sharing your journey, your insights, and advice. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure your experiences will inspire many listeners.
Thank you, Vivado. Thank you for the interview. Yeah.
To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this special episode. Be sure to celebrate Black History Month by reflecting on the contributions of Black professionals in our fields. Until next time, take care.